welcome to another edition of Abraham Chicks. And today I've got a really amazing, beautiful woman with me called Natty, who I have had the pleasure of meeting several times on Abraham cruises and also working in coaching groups together. So I'm really excited to have this conversation and just see where it leads. Hi, Natty.
Hi, Tina. So nice to see you.
How are you?
Very, very good. Thank you. I am really happy to be here with you. This is actually my first interview, so I'm very excited. I feel very honored to do it with you because recently I just listened to one of your interviews and it was only audio, but your voice was so powerful for me.
Wow.
I felt like I was like completely resonated with me. So it was very nice, and I'm actually feeling happy that I could manifest an interview with you where someone maybe would listen and would resonate with anything that I would say.
So that's so sweet, and there's going to be plenty of people that resonate with you because you are a bright shining light.
Oh, thank you. So as you.
Okay, enough of the loving each other. Let's get stuck in. So tell me, Natty, I mean, you really do live the law of attraction. I see it in all your posts, you and your husband and your family. It's all about living a life of joy and fun and being a little bit crazy. But when did this all start for you? When did you first kind of get involved in the spiritual path or looking at the law of attraction?
Well, my story is kind of funny because I was not looking for any spiritual path at all. I was just living a life. I was a normal, funny girl. I was very grumpy. I was very mad at things, angry. I would have a background about scarcity mindset in all aspects. So suddenly I got married. My marriage was not good at all at the beginning. I got pregnant because that's normal here in my Catholic background. Like,
so you're living in Ecuador, is that right?
Yes, I live in Ecuador. It's a very Catholic society.
Yeah.
So like I got married, I got pregnant, like I did everything in order, So then when I got pregnant, everything was fine. But like I said, my marriage was not okay. I was not feeling happy inside. Yeah. I always felt like empty. But when my daughter was born, she was my path. Okay. Then I knew I started my path. I didn't know it then. I can tell you this, like when I look background and backwards and I say, like I connect the dots. That's when I see how like everything makes sense now. But at that moment, well, my daughter was born with a little problem, like microtia, it's called. She was born without one ear. Oh, right. So for me, it was devastating at that time. Like it was something was supposed to be perfect, and suddenly it was not perfect at all. I was feeling a lot of fear. I went to a place of fear. The worst case scenario, like boom, it was there. I was living it. So it was hard. And then my husband, although we didn't have this great relationship at that time, but he was the one who like took me up and put me back on track. So like he looked for solutions, he looked for surgeries and like options around the world. And then suddenly like the solution came. It was very expensive for us. We didn't have the means or the mindset at the time. So then suddenly he started bring me back on track, so I could like see the solution. I could like work for something. So we started working for a solution that we found that was very expensive, but we started working to get the money to get the surgery, because the best option was like 3 years old of our daughter. So we wanted to do it as earlier as possible. So that's how it all started. Like
you had this really huge desire driven by the mother's love for a child and to make things better for her, and that's kind of what really pushed you, right?
Exactly. That's what turned my life to the other side. But the funny thing is I didn't met Abraham Hicks at that moment, because I was like going up, but I was very down at that time in my mind. So I was like starting going up in the emotional scale. Like I know it right now. I was going up in the emotional scale. So we got to the surgery of our daughter, which made us feel invincible. Like my husband and I were together, like making this huge like accomplishment for us as a family. And everything was going better. Like I was loving myself. He was loving himself. We were loving us together. Our kid was doing great because the surgery was great. The doctor, like she is awesome. She's the best doctor we've ever met. So we were so happy to be like there. We had a journey of like 45 days in California. That's why we love so much California, because it was like a whole life vacation for the three of us at that time. But it was not the three of us because I was pregnant.
There's four of you.
It was four of us. But the funny thing is that after my second kid was born, that's the moment that I got to Abraham Hicks. Because although the surgery made us feel invincible, like I felt in my great vibration, but when my second child was born, he was okay. Like I had the experience of the contrast and the good stuff. So my second kid was born in a perfect environment, situation, everything. He was born like I thought was perfect in my mind. So I enjoyed it. I decided to enjoy him, to like be with him in his body, within my body, in his body, and not in my mind, like I was in my first kid.
Even the whole experience of pregnancy was different because your perspective was different, your energy was different.
Well, there was still fear. I was still afraid because I didn't know any of this information. And I understand that when people doesn't understand this, like nothing makes sense at the other side of the veil. Nothing. It's terrible. So I understand that side, and then I'm in this other side. So at that point, when my second child was born, I got to Abraham Hicks. Like I loved it. It was like, it hooked me. I guess it's for my vibration. Right now I understand it, but my husband was not right here at that moment. So I started to like pull him, like, oh, let's go to the cruise. He was happy for the cruise. And suddenly he went to the hot seat for like, the first time. And I was like shocked. He's been to the hot seat 5 times.
I was going to say, he's always on that hot seat.
It's funny. So now we're like working together in the path, but we're knowing what we're doing. So it's very, very fun. And it's getting better and better.
Yeah. So what are apart from obviously the manifestation for your daughter's surgery, which is huge, you know, what other kind of manifestations are you very aware of that you're creating? I mean, I know we're creating everything, but sometimes it's not deliberate. What are you deliberately creating right now?
Well, deliberately right now, I am creating living in another country. I don't know where yet.
Yes.
That's the funny part. I have some options. Yes, I have some preferences, some like little things that are easier for me to believe, because I like to go to anywhere, but I still don't believe it. So right now I'm working on, like, I know I'm moving to somewhere else. I don't know when. It can be in 2 weeks or it can be in 2 years, but I know it's coming. And I'm enjoying the process of it's unfolding, because it's been fun. It's like, it's watching, like, where do you want to live? I want to live in the beach. I want to live in, like, doing this, doing that. So you start imagining your life, and it doesn't matter if you create it or not. It doesn't matter that you're feeling it. So even if you're in this, stuck in these 4 walls or whatever, you're feeling it. So you're living it. And everything outside reflects that back to you.
Exactly. It's the whole emotion thing, rather than, you know, saying, I want to move to California or an exact location. It's just the whole feeling of what you want. You want to feel that fun, that freedom, that the sunshine, you know, all those different aspects. But
just like you did it.
Exactly. And, you know, I'm now in the Caribbean. That wasn't the initial intention. The initial intention was Miami and America. And I've tried lots of different places, and I expect there'll be many more along the way. But it's just the feeling that I keep chasing, that feeling of space and freedom and sunshine and fun. You know, that's the essence of what I manifest. So how it shows up for me, it can show up in a million different ways. You know?
Yeah.
So how are you, because obviously there's been some political conflict, and we're not going to go into that because we don't want to focus on that, in your own country. But how are you keeping the gap between where you are now and where you want to go? Because that's when you can go off track.
Actually, that's a funny topic because, you know, when we get back from last cruise,
Mm-hmm.
we were high in the energy. We were feeling invincible.
Mm-hmm.
So we were coming to our country and bad things are happening. And we're feeling like, what's wrong with you people? Wake up. So we start like getting into the mud. It was mad because, it's madness.
Yeah. And
so
when it's surrounding you, how do you, you know, for other people that are maybe caught up in some kind of contrasting situation, how do you keep your focus out of it? How do you focus on other things? What's your tips?
Well, my ultimate tip is like, just feel whatever you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So if at some point you are like immersed in the madness,
mm-hmm.
you have to act a little bit mad. Because that's the way that's the way you integrate it. Because that's where you come from, whether you like it or not.
If that's what you're feeling, there's a part of you that's reflecting
exactly
that. Yeah.
If that's what you're feeling, then breathe it in.
Yeah.
Because it's yours.
Yeah.
You gotta take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a gift, actually. It's like a gift. It's like they're telling you this is a gift for you, but you keep resisting and you don't get it and you feel it's bad.
Yeah.
But it's not bad, and it's a gift. So if you take it, then you're gonna know where you come from. Like, look, that kind of political situation where you can like go mad and still get back on track.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good perspective. But, you know, have you got anything that, you know, within your desires that you haven't been able to manifest? Because I think there's this, you know, this whole thing around whether you can manifest a cup of coffee or whether you can manifest $1 million, it's all the same. But of course, it depends on what our beliefs are about each topic. You know, some things I can manifest really easy. You know, I can manifest travel like that, free holidays, free trips, because my grid around travel is just so open, so exciting. But there might be other areas in my life where, you know, there's more resistance, shall we say. So are there any areas in your life that you're struggling to manifest in?
Well, yeah, it's funny because like, if you asked me this question 1 week ago, I'd still go with the old story, like money. Yeah. Money is a hard thing. But right now, I don't even feel that. Like, it's actually in 1 week, like my perspective changed. I don't know. It's like things are going so fast. But right now I feel like, first, I am like making a living from being myself. Like, I do these calls with people and they pay me. Yeah. So I can do that anywhere. So I'm fine with money and I'm doing it. So I know that I have a lot of past and I have a lot of debt to take care of, but it's coming. Yeah. So I don't feel like that's a limit anymore. However, this is so recent that in my relationship with Javier, with my husband, it is still an issue.
That's interesting. So in the last week, your perspective has changed. What did you do to help you change your perspective? Because money is a big topic for so many people. You know, well, it's so powerful.
I'm saying last week because maybe I felt physically some changes, but it's coming for a while because we started, like my husband and I started taking some coaching on money. Because that's our limit, like right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a really interesting point as well, to invest in yourself and invest in the areas that you need to work on, because the only person you need to work on is yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel that all my debts are for investments that I did in myself. So I have no guilt. Yeah. I know it's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Magic. So
magic.
What's next? What's next for Natty and Javier? Because I know you guys are doing amazing stuff with your coaching and all your programs. What's coming next?
Well, I'm not sure what's coming next, actually. Like, if I think about it, I'm not sure. But I know it's going to be okay, whatever it is, because whether we go to another country, we're going to be great. We're going to look at a nice place. We're going to be in a whole adventure. Or whether we stay here because it's so fun. We have like a little desire to stay because we have so many good things here.
Yeah. So and that's important as well, isn't it? Because you have to really love and appreciate where you are now
And
to be able to move somewhere else. Yeah.
And that's part of it. Like, I feel like I've done my job. I appreciate you all a lot, but I need to move because I feel like life is calling me also. So that's the part that we're like right now, like, we don't know what's the future for us. We just know it's going to be fun because right now it is.
Yeah.
So it's getting better.
It's getting better.
It's going to be fun always.
Yeah, that's been my theme today. Fun, fun, fun. And it's showing up in so many ways already, which is yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like in this interview, it's been like, for me, it's been like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So everything is fun because I think that it's in the feminine energy. I'm not sure, but we like to feel like more emotional peaks.
Yeah.
Whether it's up or low, there's something about that part. So we don't have to resist. We have to feel it. Open up, like, breathe in and feel it.
Yeah, no, that's so true. So do you have sort of daily things that you do to keep your vibration high or to keep your perspective open? What do you do? What's your advice to other people that are just kind of looking at law of attraction and how it works?
I used to do that. To do that. Like, it depends on every person because, like I said, I began this journey like almost 4 years ago when my second kid was born, and I started like doing so many things because at the beginning the message was attractive, but I was not feeling it. That's the key. The key is feeling it. So you can spend a lot of time like doing journaling or imagining or whatever, but if you don't feel it, it's not working. It's not working. It's actually taking out your energy that you could invest or focus in something nice.
So what was the turning point for you? What was it that made you start to feel it?
I'm not sure. I think everything is like an evolution. You always start from somewhere you don't know, and then you move on. But my turning point that I physically recall was in last cruise when this girl called Emma Jane from Australia, she talked to me and we had this conversation. It was so fun, but she told me, like, imagine you're having your baby in your belly and you feel the kick for the first time. And actually I felt it, like, and then I make the click and said, oh, feel it, like, and she said, like, yeah, feel it in your belly, has to be in your belly, has to be. So then I started like going back to my body. And this was what, like 4 months ago, 3 months ago, the cruise. I started to get back into my body because I started to feel everything, because you start feeling cold, you start feeling warm, you start feeling a touch, you start feeling pain, you start feeling, and then you relate to your mind. So your mind is also having some thoughts that are like related with that, and then you start knowing that you are not your thoughts. So then you start analyzing your thoughts, and then that's when you like get a bigger awareness.
I was going to say awareness is the key, and it's so valuable what you've just said, because I think a lot of people that are struggling to kind of find the connection with law of attraction or universal energies and how it works, they'll be saying to me, but I'm doing the work, I'm journaling, or I'm affirmations, or I'm doing, meditations, or whatever tools it is that they're using, but they still have resistance. And so when you have resistance, you're not fully receiving what it is that you're doing. So it's almost like when you can let go of the resistance, and, it takes practice, it takes intention, it takes desire, or it's finding the thing for you that allows you to release resistance. It's like, with exercise, sometimes I don't feel like going to the gym, but if I go dancing, that's just fun. And, that's probably more exercise, more physical than working out at the gym.
Absolutely. Because in smooth movement, you have all your muscles moving like inside.
Exactly.
But it's the same. It's not about effort.
It's
not about effort. It's about allowing the energy to flow. It's about, for example, when you dance, you allow the energy to flow easily because your body moves in a way that it allows it to flow. However, when you go to the gym, maybe if you're not with your headphones and you haven't created the environment, maybe you're thinking in something that's not fun.
Exactly.
So
You're distracted, or you're looking at something.
So you're not doing the vibrational work. So it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
It's not working. So the thing is that you have to do your work first in your mind. Then when you feel it, you take action, and then that action has to be easy. For example, that action has to be easy, like go and drink a glass of water. But you know what? Stop what you're doing and take a glass, fill the glass. Fill it with water, like drink it and feel everything, like feel every part of the experience. So then you have like told the universe, I'm not going to the past, I'm going to the new. I don't know what is it, but I'm going there.
Yeah.
And you're telling the universe with an action, like drinking a glass of water. So it's done.
Yeah.
That's nothing else that you need to do, but because that's the seed. The seed is the action, the inspired action. And then the rest of the things come through the seed.
Yeah. No, it's so true. It's so true. And you know, you're obviously fortunate that both you and your husband have got similar journeys and mindsets. Do you ever have any contrast that you are both following this alignment path? Because, you know, sometimes that means doing what you want to do for yourself. How do you find that impacts on your relationship?
Well, it was an impact since the beginning because like I said, I got to Abraham Hicks before. I got to all this information before, and he was in our old mindset, which was like, marriage is something you have to do for all life, or like you have to, like a lot of rules that were around our marriage that we were trying to cover, but we were not going inside. So when Abraham Hicks was like in my life, delivered into my life, then I was able to stop doing all that and start doing all me.
Yeah.
So I started to like even telling him like things that maybe would hurt him, but at the same time I know that it was needed, because the selfish word here is like something wrong. Like don't be selfish in marriage.
Yeah.
Especially
that's a completely different perspective, isn't it? It's like, actually, no, you need to be completely selfish to be aligned.
Exactly. It's totally the opposite.
Yeah.
That's why I believe that religion is something that like blocks a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah. It's very structured. I grew up with a Catholic background too. And yeah, I think I rejected the whole feeling of religion quite early on in life. It felt very icky, you know, very controlled, and it wasn't congruent with my feelings and who I was. But now it's kind of, if it gives you joy, if it gives you peace, if it gives you any of that good stuff,
exactly,
then that's fine. But
that's something that happened recently. Like Javier had a lot of this resistance to church, and like recently it's like he made peace with it finally, because he always was like telling his old story, like in his mind, like this is wrong, this is good, whatever. And then he started like saying, I forgot how he said it. Oh, he started like looking into the church, but the good things.
Right.
The good things. Like he started like looking like there's these good people that do this, and there's this good thing. And he started like opening his eyes, and he was like, oh my God, they are good. They are good. They started for a good reason, and they're good. They're good. There's good people. There's good Catholic people. There's not so good Catholic people. No. It's like everything.
Exactly.
So he started to make peace with the concept of religion, of church. I don't know. He started to make peace with it. He even like had a physical hug with her mother. So everything was going in the other direction, because he started to change that belief that was so limiting.
Yeah. That's a really good example. If you think of any subject or any topic that doesn't feel good for you, but you can still look within it and try and find something that you appreciate about it. Even the gift of the contrast, something terrible happens, but then something good comes out of it. it can completely shift how you feel about it. And then your focus changes and it's not as relevant in your world, if you like. Yeah.
That's a good example exactly for that, because there's always something good in every person.
Yeah.
Always. It's always. But sometimes we don't see it. And that's the thing. We believe, no, that person is not good for me. But you haven't seen inside.
Yeah.
There's something always.
And everybody's going into the next version of themselves, you know. So it's like in a marriage, it's like you recreate yourself and they're recreating themselves. So it's like you're having a different partner every week. You know, it's like they're changing and you're changing constantly. And, you know,
but that's because that's only because you go too much to your mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason. Because if you only stay with your body, especially in relationships, if you only stay with your body, everything would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're always in the moment. You're always in your body, means you're always present. And if that relationship helps you to be present, then let be addict.
Yeah.
Be an addict to that kind of relationship, because you're going back to your body. Yeah. You're going back to the present. That's what you came here for, to be present.
Yeah. And, you know, and I've seen how you and Javier are together. You've got an amazing relationship now. And it's, I guess in the last 4 or 5 years, a lot of that has got to be because of the work that you're doing, the work of really looking at perspectives and
totally
universal laws.
Like Abraham Hicks, like transformed our relationship, because even we have done a lot of work together unconsciously.
Yeah.
We didn't know about Abraham or anything, but we went to, like, we wanted it to work. That's true. We did a lot of things unconsciously, but when Abraham Hicks showed up, it was like, it's not about knowing, it's about knowing that you know. Yeah. So that at that moment we knew that we know, and we started like acting like it.
Yeah.
Because that's the hard thing. Like, we always evolve to better versions, but sometimes we don't adapt to that new version because we're afraid. And instead of keeping up, we go back and we sabotage our mind.
Yeah. The power of the mind.
Absolutely.
The power of the thoughts. Yeah, definitely.
It can be your best friend, or it can be your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
And you don't even know you're in a nightmare.
Yeah. It's a choice, isn't it? You know, you can make heaven out of hell or hell out of heaven just by your thoughts.
And that nightmare can be as frequent as you allow it to be. So that nightmare always comes. Like contrast always comes. Always. Because it's not like you're going to get out of, like, because if you wouldn't have contrast, how would you go to the next level? How would you know now what you like? Like, now you have the relationship. Okay, now you manifested the partner that you like, but now how do you move to the next destination with your partner? How do you know it? Because something starts to go wrong, like, quote unquote, because nothing's wrong. But because of that, then you like evolve, transform your problem, and even your problem goes bigger. So now you have, like, your problem is choosing between going into the Bahamas or to Cancun.
Yeah, exactly. So that it's choices. They're both good choices, but one feels slightly better than the other.
And the mind likes to call it problems. The mind likes to call, oh my God, I have to go to Cancun to the wedding of someone, or I have to do this. Like, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
But the mind likes to elaborate, because that's the mind's work. And that's fine. That we have to make peace with that, because the mind is helping us to actually evolve, to reach to the higher version we're saying we want, but we actually don't act like we want.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing. So what's happening next then? Are you what's happening with work? Where can people find you if they want to work some more with the amazing stuff that you and Javier are doing? Where can they find you?
Thank you. I am so happy because I'm helping some people, like, here. So I was also hoping to help other, like, I know I don't speak perfect English, but I know that you can feel me.
Yes, I can.
So that's what matters. So I'd love if people would reach me. I still don't have an English page, but I have my page in Spanish, which is called Natalie Jaramillo, Diseñadora de Sueños.
Okay. Stop right there. We're gonna have to put a link below.
dream designer. That's my title.
You're the dream designer. Love it. The
dream designer. So I'd love to start like getting in touch with people from all around the world and helping them in any way.
I know you're going to. You've just got such an amazing energy and vibrancy for life. So there's going to be a lot of people that can resonate with that. So I'm so happy that you came on to chat with us and to give us some of your insights and inspirations.
Thank you so much, Tina. This has been lovely.
Oh, it's been so much fun.
This is my first interview. Like I told you, I'm so nervous.
Oh, you've done brilliantly.
I'm so happy that I did it with you. You're so loving. You're so happy. Your energy is just so bright.
Oh, bless you. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. But we'll put everything below so that people can reach you when they need to. And I'm excited to see where you and Javier and the family end up. Maybe it will be St. Martin's. Maybe we'll be neighbors.
Maybe. We don't know yet.
Oh, thank you so much, Natty. I'll speak to you soon.
Bye.